ओके भूमेश, आपकी जो फर्स्ट सैलरी थी वो कितनी थी?
मेरा पहला सैलरी था अराउंड 20 to 23,000 इन हैंड।
और जो भी रिसेंट सैलरी थी जब आपने छोड़ा तो वो कितनी थी?
अराउंड 1 CR वाज माई सीटीएस। मैं जब 24-25 था तो मैं बहुत क्लियर था कि मुझे फ्री होने का है। आई वेंट टू IIT बट आई हैड 58% मार्क्स इन 10th। I was not a good student. It means I was not interested in studies until then. मैंने एक बुक पढ़ी थी रिच डैड पुअर डैड। उसमें क्वाड्रेंट्स के बारे में बताया और वो मुझे थोड़ा आई ओपनर था मेरे लिए।
आप 4 के 4 क्वाड्रेंट में रहे हो।
Today, pretty much 100% of my income comes from BNI. Basically, I have created passive income through.
आपने जॉब छोड़ी और फिर सैलरी जो थी वो एकदम ही जीरो हो गई, तो अब आगे क्या हुआ? ओके भूमेश, आपकी जो फर्स्ट सैलरी थी वो कितनी थी?
मेरा पहला सैलरी था अराउंड 20 to 23,000 इन हैंड।
जी। और जो भी रिसेंट सैलरी थी जब आपने छोड़ा तो वो कितनी थी?
इन हैंड तो बहुत ही वेरिएबल होता है। मैं CEO था कंपनी का, तो बहुत वेरिएबल, थोड़े क्वार्टरली बोनसेस, बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं, बट अराउंड 1 CR वाज माई सीटीएस।
अंडरस्टूड। मुझे मतलब ये समझ नहीं आता कि आपका जो थिंकिंग मॉडल है वो क्या होगा कि आपने जॉब छोड़ दी, क्योंकि आप बैंगलोर में रह रहे हो, बहुत सारे एक्सपेंसेस हैं, तो अभी आपने वो क्यों जॉब छोड़ी?
एक्चुअली मेरा प्लान बहुत जल्दी बन गया था।
जी।
मुझे तो पता भी नहीं था मुझे कोई CEO बनाएगा या फिर मेरे जॉब में इतना ग्रोथ होगा 12-13 साल में। मैं जब 24-25 था तो मैं बहुत क्लियर था कि मुझे फ्री होने का है। जो भी मेरे जॉब प्रमोशंस, जॉब ऑफर्स आए, वो सब मतलब ब्लेसिंग्स थे। मुझे नहीं पता था या फिर मेरा टाइमिंग था जो भी था, लेकिन मुझे फ्री होना था। क्योंकि मैंने एक बुक पढ़ी थी रिच डैड पुअर डैड। उसमें क्वाड्रेंट्स के बारे में बताया और वो मुझे थोड़ा मतलब क्या बोलते हैं कि आई ओपनर था मेरे लिए। बिकॉज दिस गाय वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट 80% ऑफ द वेल्थ इन द वर्ल्ड is controlled by businessmen and investor. I didn't know, obviously I didn't validate those numbers, but if I look at today, it is kind of true, right? Most of the Ambanis and Tatas and all these businessmen or the big investing companies, right? They are the one who are controlling 80% of the money or maybe 90%. I don't
तो
know
जिन्हें
exactly.
ये नहीं पता कि क्वाड्रेंट एक्चुअल में है क्या, जिन्होंने नहीं पढ़ी ये बुक, तो वो आप थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं कि क्या क्या है इसमें?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it talked about S, B, and I. E means employee. You
जी।
have a contract with a company where you are employed, which means you cannot do anything else, pretty much. And you'll have to, sell your time for 8-10 hours and work, right? Which most of us generally start our career with, right?
Right.
Self-employed is, I have a skill, I sell it to somebody and say, I will charge this much. And I can decide the price and somebody has to pay for it. Like a doctor, lawyer, or a consultant. I could be an IT consultant, I could be a social media consultant, strategist. But I say per hour, I will charge $5, $20, whatever. So that is
Right.
self-employed. Businessman, by definition, it looks like close to self-employed because you are doing something on your own. But the book says the definition is you should be employing at least 300 people. Like it should be an organization. It should not be like you are the only one, because then it's mostly again an active income.
Right.
So the main differentiator for left side, which is ENS, versus right, which is BNI, is your nature of income. BNI make money out of either somebody else's effort or money grows on its own, right? On left side, most of the time, income is growing because you are working. So employee, self-employed makes active income. And on right side, you have more of income coming without your effort. That's why it is called passive income. So yeah, obviously investor is again somebody who has a large sum, not like you have 5,000 SIP, but a large sum which you have invested, which can probably multiply, compound at a rate where you can take care of your life, like few crores at least.
आई थिंक इसमें ये तो क्लियर है कि जो पैसे हैं वो ज़्यादा बी और आई में बनते हैं। तो इसमें एक और चीज़ आई थिंक रॉबर्ट ने कही थी कि जो सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड है वो उसके अकॉर्डिंग सबसे ज़्यादा ख़राब चीज़ है। तो वो एग्जांपल लेता है एक डेंटिस्ट का कि मान लो तुम सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड हो, तुम डेंटिस्ट हो, ठीक है, आपके पास काफ़ी क्लाइंट्स हैं, आप बहुत ज़्यादा सक्सेसफुल हो गए, लेकिन जितने ज़्यादा आप सक्सेसफुल हो रहे हो उस टाइम तुम सबसे ज़्यादा दुखी होंगे अपनी लाइफ से, क्योंकि तुम खुद ही उस चीज़ को सॉल्व कर रहे हो, तुम्हारे पास टाइम ज़ीरो हो जाएगा, बेशक पैसे भी आ रहे हैं, एक तो वो क्योंकि टाइम भी ज़्यादा नहीं तुम सेल कर सकते, तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग आई थिंक जो एस वाला क्वाड्रेंट है वो सबसे खराब था। एनीवेज कि जैसे आप चार के चार क्वाड्रेंट में रहे हो, तो पहले स्टार्ट करते हैं जो सबसे बेसिक क्वाड्रेंट है, जो कि है हमारा एम्प्लॉय। तो उससे मतलब कुछ हो रहा होगा आपकी लाइफ में कि आप थे, आप आईटी से निकले, आपने जॉब करी, इतनी अच्छी सैलरी में पहुंचे, मतलब व्हाट वाज हैपनिंग इन योर लाइफ, और वो थिंकिंग मॉडल क्या था, अगर आप वो एक्सप्लेन कर पाए।
तो मेरे साथ जॉब तो बहुत अच्छा रहा, मतलब आई एम वेरी फॉर्चुनेट टू फाइंड गुड बॉसेस, गुड इन्वेस्टर्स, पीपल हु बैक मी. द
जी।
ओनली थिंग वाज कि at very early stage I had this in mind that if I am skilled, if I am capable of doing something, why don't I do it on my own terms? And that is when I thought about becoming, S or B or I, right? That I would want to live my life according to my own terms, which was not happening with E-Quarter.
तो
And
उस
that's the
टाइम आप
only
क्या
thing.
कर रहे थे, द
Huh?
जॉब वाज अबाउट, जॉब किस चीज़ में थी?
I was in tech initially, on software work,
ओके।
coding initially for first 5 years. Then I moved to management side.
ओके।
So my problem that time was that somebody else was deciding my income. Obviously, they had a income on based on experience and degree. So somebody else decides an income. Somebody else decides the work you do, and somebody else decides the location you live. Because of this, I didn't want to be in E-Quadrant. And in S, some of that got solved. Then by P, it gets solved further. By I think you solve most of it. So my only problem with E-Quadrant was that I was not able to decide what I do. I was not able to decide where I do it, means where I do that work, and I was not able to decide how much I get paid for it.
अंडरस्टूड।
So that was, I think, maybe it got ingrained. And during my career, I was doing well. I never realized that my career has actually done well. It gave me a lot of freedom. Everything was going good. But the thing was that I had already decided, I had already made a plan that I'm going to be free, right?
जी।
So I stick to the plan. It didn't matter that I became a CEO. In fact, after I became a CEO, I quit within a year. So a lot of people were surprised why I quit. But my goal was set. My goal was clear that by this year, with this numbers, I'm going to be done.
तो मतलब आपने एग्जैक्टली exactly कब क्विट किया और क्यों क्विट किया?
Okay. So I decided to quit in 2017 because
जी।
my numbers met. So I had a plan. I had a plan that, okay, I have 8 to 10 goals which are important for my life. In case I decide to leave my job, these are the goals which requires money, right? Apart from your living expenses. So for example, your kids' education, kids' marriage, a couple of those examples, your parents' health. In 2013 or 12, I made a plan that I'm going to be retiring. I was pretty comfortable financially. So I made a plan and I understood that it takes few years to fulfill all those goals. And by 2017, I was done, I was around 35 that time. And I decided that I will quit now. But my mom's cancer treatment was going on that time, which was becoming expensive year by year. So by 2013, when I made a plan, my mom just got detected. For next 7 years, her treatment continued. And initially it was few lakhs, then it was tens of lakhs in a year. So I was not sure when to quit my job. So that's when I decided to continue. But because my mom's situation was there, I continued. And 2018, I got this opportunity to become a CEO. So it is not about my position and the income and the salary. It was that timing that, I had to delay it until 2019. My mom passed away. And that is the day I quit my job. And after that, I have never gone back or applied for any job.
जी, अंडरस्टूड। तो मतलब मैं ये देख पा रहा हूँ कि एक आपका थिंकिंग मॉडल तो था कि आपने लिस्ट डाउन करे 7 या 8 गोल्स, और समथिंग वाज हैपनिंग इन योर फैमिली, और फिर एक पॉइंट आया जब आपने बोला ठीक है, नाउ आई एम सेफ। वो आप एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं लाइक व्यूअर्स को, कोई गूगल शीट या उसमें, ताकि अगर उनके पास कुछ एक थिंकिंग मॉडल हो।
Yes, मैं थोड़ा एग्जाम्पल्स दिखा सकता हूँ
जी।
कि मैंने कैसे शीट बनाया था एंड हाउ आई ट्रैक्ड इट. So
एंड वील ऑल्सो
basically,
गिव द शीट राइट इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन।
yeah. So when I made this in 2012, it was very clear that I have few goals. So like retirement was one, and my kid one was born already. So I had put his education, his marriage, expenses for our cars, because we'll be driving 2 cars, right? And keep changing every 7 years. Then we had decided that we'll have second kid. So I put that money also for second kid will need, education and marriage. And then healthcare expenses and mother, for my mother, and I kept a reserve and some emergency fund. So these were the things which I had planned. I attached exactly what number it is there for today. Like I need, let's say, 10 lakhs today for graduation, right? For college. But in 2000, let's say 37 or 2035, and my son is going to college, how much will be that expense? Based on that, I decided that this is a fund which I need to fund, need to invest in for these many years so that I can achieve this goal.
मतलब आपने रिवर्स कैलकुलेशन करी,
Reverse
इन्फ्लेशन
calculation.
लेके, कि
So
जितना उस टाइम पे होगा तो अभी मुझे कितना डालना है. आप सिप में एक्सपेक्टेड ROI आई थिंक इज
yeah.
12%.
So
तो
very simple example. Let's say today you need 10 lakhs for college.
राइट.
Let's say you need 30 lakhs that time in 2035. But I want to retire by 2070, right? Or 2020 less. By 2020, I need to breach a number which compounds at 12%, let's say, if it's in mutual funds or stocks. It should reach 30 lakhs. So let's say I invest, I accumulate like 5-6 lakhs by that time. Chances are in 15-20 years, it's going to be compounding at 12%. And 12% compounding is typically every 6 years. It
Right.
will double. So for that, maybe you'll have to put 10,000 a month for your kids' education. So that way, 10,000, 15,000, 10,000, 15,000. So it came about around 1.5 lakhs of SIP, which I had to do, apart from what I had already accumulated. Okay. So,
Right.
so what I did was I started investing around 1.5 lakhs a month in 2013-14. And I continued that until 2018, obviously, when I quit. When I decided to quit, I continued. But in between, my income was increasing. So I made it like 2.5 lakhs a month. So what my goal was for 7 years, which was 2020, originally, if I had continued with 1.5 lakhs, I would have quit in 2020 and achieved all my goals. It got done in 2017 because I was like pumping more money. So 2017 and it looked like that I will be able to achieve most of my most important goals.
तो इसमें से आपने कौन से गोल मतलब रखे थे और कौन से थे कि अच्छा चलो ये वाले दीज आर नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट.
Okay, so my kids' education, non-compromisable, right?
राइट.
Education and marriage, both, car, and my financial freedom account, which I had created, and mom's expenses. So these were an emergency fund. Some of the goals which I thought I will, invest in when I get more money. I don't want to necessarily work in a job for it. Or let's say their post-graduation, if I want to fund, travel the world, let's say I want to do. I have some education goals because education gave me so much. So I have some goals towards, helping people for education and all. So that one fund, which was pretty big, I won't be able to achieve so easily. But now, fortunately, after I quit my job, I continue to fund that goal. And I'm almost done with that as well.
ओके, तो एक बार मैं समराइज कर देता हूँ इसे ताकि सबको समझ आ जाए कि आपने क्या किया. आपने सारे गोल्स जो थे वो लिस्ट डाउन कर दिए, उनमें से टॉप उठाए कि अच्छा ये 7 या 8 हैं जिसके साथ मैं कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ नहीं कर सकता, जैसे किड्स एजुकेशन हो गया, मदर की हेल्थ होगी एंड सो ऑन. और फिर आपने देखा कि उसका फ्यूचर में कितना अमाउंट चाहिए होगा. लेट फॉर एग्जांपल किड्स एजुकेशन, उसका आपने अभी टाइम अभी करा कि उस टाइम को अगर अभी हम देखें तो अभी कितना अमाउंट चाहिए होगा, और उतनी की आपने सिप स्टार्ट कर दी. बट इसमें जो कई मैं एक देख पा रहा हूँ कि जैसे रिटायरमेंट है या फिर लेट से कि किड्स एजुकेशन ही है, तो वो 21 सालों तक सिप चलनी थी, मगर आपने पहले जो है वो क्विट कर दिया.
नहीं, ये गोल था 21 साल का कि 21 साल बाद जरूरत पड़ेगा उस गोल का.
मगर आपने पेमेंट वन टाइम ही करी.
हाँ, लेकिन फंड आई हैड टू डू इट ओनली फॉर 5 to 7 years and then I'm done. It should compound at 12% and reach that number. That's it.
ओके,
Yeah.
ठीक है, अंडरस्टूड. तो अभी आपने जॉब छोड़ी और फिर क्योंकि अब सैलरी जो थी वो एकदम ही ज़ीरो हो गई, तो अब आगे क्या हुआ?
जब मैंने जॉब छोड़ा था तब मैं बहुत क्लियर था कि मुझे बिजनेस ही करना है.
जी.
तो मैंने सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट थोड़ा किया. आई वुड से फॉर अ ईयर आई थिंक मैं सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड था.
ओके.
कंसल्टिंग किया सेम इंडस्ट्री में विद व्हाट आई वाज डूइंग ऑलरेडी. Same companies, pretty much same companies hired me as a consultant, which I did for a year less. So advantages, obviously, I felt that, okay, I had little freedom now. I could do, what I want to do on my own terms. But it's just that it was still, I was obviously accountable to somebody, right? So somebody will ask me, what you have to report, you have to count, there is a meeting. So the freedom is not 100%. And time was still going. 8 to 10 hours was still going. And in Bangalore, 8 to 10 hours is 12 to 14 hours, including travel and all. So I didn't enjoy being in S for too long. Money was good because I was able to make kind of similar money. Tax advantage was huge. So I was feeling much better financially being in S. But if you remember, I mentioned that for me, it didn't matter what my salary was, what my position was. What my main goal was to be free. And I wanted to be quadrant. And obviously, I tried my hands on different businesses. First, and in fact, I
फर्स्ट आई थिंक
first
एस को जो मैं समझाऊँ जो सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड था कि आपने जॉब यू स्टार्टेड वर्किंग फॉर समवन तो एज अ कंसल्टेंट यू स्टार्टेड
yes, so
और
I started.
जी तो वहाँ पर आपको जो है वो सबसे पहले थोड़ा टाइम मिल गया कि उतना ज़्यादा नहीं था आप कम टाइम स्पेंड करे थे 8-9 घंटे पहले शायद ज़्यादा होगा एम्प्लॉई में
Yes,
और टैक्स एडवांटेज थी और जबकि सैलरी उतनी ही थी जितनी आपको पहले मिल रही थी
yeah, pretty much same.
तो मतलब जो प्रो है इसका जो एडवांटेजेस हैं एस के फॉर इन योर केस इट वाज टाइम एक तो वो नहीं है कि मेरे को पक्का ही जाना है मेरे को आज एक थोड़ा हल्का सा वो फ्रीडम आ जाएगा प्लस टैक्सेस तो इतना ही है
Yeah,
इसमें
you could choose some assignments. You could do multiple assignments if you want. That is another advantage because in some cases you might be done with like 4 hours. You might spend only 4 hours as a consultant, right, to somebody,
राइट
and with that you are making good enough money, so you will have enough time to explore more things. So I started working on my book that time.
ओके
So this was when I was self-employed. I started working on my book. I started thinking about starting my own firm and look at what I want to do, what product I want to create, some ideas.
व्हाट वाज द बुक नेम लाइक व्हाट इज द बुक दैट यू रोट अबाउट
Oh, the book name is out of syllabus. So this was there in my mind for long. But if you are in a top corporate position, it is difficult to find that much energy that you take out time and put in writing a book. So I always felt that the school and colleges gave me a lot, right? They gave me a platform, I would say.
राइट
But at the same time, I always felt that they did not give me skills. I was very poor in communication skills. I was not able to even speak properly in English. So some of those communication skills, corporate skills, right? In fact, Excel skills, right? Some of these basic skills would have been very, very useful
सो द
when I
थीम
was
ऑफ द
starting my
बुक
career.
इज लाइक इट इज अबाउट finances और लाइक फॉर द कॉर्पोरेट
No,
पीपल
no, the book is about all these skills. The
Okay.
book talks about all the skills which I did not learn in IIT or my school.
Okay.
To give an example, like finances is one, marriage is one, right? Nobody teaches you, right? They say just get married. Nobody teaches you how to manage your marriage, right?
Right.
Nobody talks about, hey, you know what? You are, you're working now. You have money, freedom, all that, but you also have to take care of your body. So nobody teaches you how to take care of your health.
राइट
So all of this I'm trying to figure out. All of a sudden, I come to Bangalore, find a job, and I'm trying to figure out all these skills, communication skills, right, leadership skills. None of them were taught to me in
Right.
college, and most of the skills which were taught in college were not getting used. And I'm sure this is going to be true for next generation, people who are coming out of college right now, that the skill they learned in school and college. In first 2 years, they realize that they are trying to learn a new skill to survive in a job.
Right.
In fact, sales skills. In fact, my majority of my success in my career, all the positions, all the money which I made was because of sales skills,
राइट
which I was very, very poor because my communication was bad, English was bad. So sales was like very far fetched goal for me to pursue. But I pursued, I did well, and I made all the money and career because of that skill. So all that I have covered in the book.
Understood. So, like, there was something still, that was lagging in his quadrant, that you still did not have that freedom that you actually, were thinking when you were in E quadrant. So now what happened?
So I'll tell you, freedom does not come because you have a lot of money. Freedom does not come you have high income, whether E or S, right? There are people who are holding on to big money. I know some people like I know a guy who is like IIM guy and having 17 crores in the bank, but not able to quit his job. Why? Because his salary is few crores, and he has I think he's taken a house for 12 crores in Mumbai. There is no way, and he's almost like 56, 57 now. There is no way he can think of quitting his job, even though as an outsider, if I just do some numbers, finances, I feel that, this guy must be done, right?
Right.
But people don't know how to manage the money, right? They end up investing most of their wealth into real estate and gold because these are more emotionally, these are more emotional goals for Indian families than equity. And even if you ask these guys, they won't have more than 1 or 2 crores in equity or other.
But the
asset
17
class.
crore amount is the net worth or the amount in the bank that he has?
Total net worth.
Okay.
So, but if somebody gives me 17 crores, I know what to do with it, right?
Right.
I won't buy a house with it. I would not, go and buy a lot of gold with it. I would do a proper allocation. Probably I'll take 20% of it and put in real estate, right? I'll take maybe 20% and put it in gold or, commodities, and 20% in equity, 20% probably in debt, and 20% I will play with it. Like I will go and invest into high risk investment like crypto, startups, or I would, let's say you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to invest. When I started my own firm, obviously you have to invest 10, 20, 30, 50 lakhs, right? Just to get started. I would take that money and go there and invest. So with that, I would be probably 15, 70 crores. That guy should be speech today, but the allocation is not same. So I would say it's not the total money or the total income. It is the allocation which decides where you stand in life.
Right. So what are the insecurities he's facing because of which like he cannot quit? Just because of
Why?
the allocation? Like there are other things also.
No, he doesn't know the allocation parts. He just feels that, okay, if I quit my job today and he makes this sheet like I just showed, right? What will happen? He will feel that he doesn't have enough money for all these goods, right? Because he has home loan to pay. Probably he'll think about, I have to work for home loan first. And that is one thing which I think is I think screwing a lot of, peace of mind, I would say, for a lot of people. This is home loan, right? Why? Because any point of time they want to quit their job, the first thing they see, oh, my home loan is still 1 crore. My home loan is still 50 lakhs. And that looks like a big amount for us, right? Even if your salary is like 3, 4 lakhs a month, 5 lakhs a month. But if you are done allocation right, then you will see that your home part is a small part of it, right? You would have funded your child education by now, you funded your retirement by now.
Right.
And let's say you want to get out and do something, right? You don't want to quit your job and sit at home. Even at 57, you want to do something. You have 50 lakhs, 1 crore to start your own business also.
Right.
So I think it is allocation which people don't understand even now. They just feel, okay, let me work hard first by 1 crore. Let me work hard and then, first secure a car. This is the first step people feel. But in my case, it was, I think it was exactly the opposite. Maybe
But
car
still,
I
I
got
think
second.
it shows something about our education system. A guy from IIT and then IIM, he's, just in the rat race that he don't have even the time to understand these basic concepts. Although it will take him like 2 to 3 days to actually, get, because it is like a basic maths. So that 2 to 3 days also we don't have.
Yes, and decision making. I'll tell you this. So this is one part. One is education part of it, right?
Right.
That's obviously in college and all, we were not educated about that. Hey, you could become financially free, you should plan your money and all that. So that part, obviously, people have to put some effort, right?
Right.
As you said, it can be done in 2-3 days. You can be on track, right? By doing this allocations, reallocating part, basically. The second part is decision making after that. So that also is very important, day-to-day basis. If you make decisions with your family, like when to buy a house, when to go for vacation, right? When to change your car. So these decisions are not, your own decisions. And that is where your family plays a role. And that's when I feel that I'm blessed with a partner, my wife, that we are able to make those decisions together, which are important for the family, not for our status.
ठीक है, आई थिंक आगे बढ़ते हैं। तो आपने जो एस था वो भी कर लिया, फिर बी और आई की क्या जर्नी रही, और अभी आप किस क्वाड्रेंट में हो?
So today, my pretty much 100% of my income comes from BNI.
ओके।
Okay. I realize that in a quadrant that my time is getting sold, right, on the time. So which I wanted to stop. So a few years back, I decided not to do it.
Okay.
And I don't do any consulting, any assignment today for last, I guess, 4 years now.
ओके।
Pretty much no active income for last few years now. Most of my income comes because I have majorly invested. Well, all my goals are taken care, but that numbers and investment, obviously there was a work required to learn about investment. And I would recommend everybody to learn about this, even though you don't do active investment, because with a job and all, you might not be able to actively pursue investments. But before you quit your job, you should know how investment works. Even if you take expert advice or you take route through mutual funds, you should still get into investments early. Today, I have a portfolio, which is, again, as I said, little imbalanced that way, because I have a high risk portfolio today, because I'm able to take those chances. I have a passive income of around 1.5 to 2 lakhs today.
That is
which
coming
kind
from
of-
where?
So it comes from a couple of sources. It comes from basically I have created passive income through dividends, let's say.
Okay.
I have created passive income. Some of the funds also, when you invest, you can kind of get returns. Some startups gives you returns, and I have been able to create partnerships there on the total revenues which I am able to create for them. I am able to get returns on it, which are pretty much stable today. So, but yes, if you see, majority of my income is through dividends, because my portfolio, even if you get like 1 or 2% returns as a dividends, that itself is good enough today.
Right.
For us to live. We live a pretty simple life. We have a decent car, decent house, but yeah, we don't have 3-4 lakhs kind of a lifestyle. Maybe 1.5 lakhs kind of a lifestyle.
Okay.
And but our net worth continues to grow, and that also we have to continue to pursue. Like she said, somebody used to play a money game. I still play that game in that way. That I continue to look at when is my next 1 crore coming. Right. It doesn't happen because I'm actively working or doing something, but I continue to reallocate and figure out how do I achieve my
Next one.
net worth goals. So I think last 3 years or last 2 years, if you ask me, there is no time I have been thinking about what I need this year, how much I'm making per month. All that has gone, or what I spend. Like a lot of people live on budget. I don't think about it because it's a small number now.
Right.
So I don't think that much about numbers like expenses and income. But for last 2 years, if you ask me, I have been only thinking about my net worth. And 50-60% of my investments are into equity.
Okay.
In different forms. Like some of them are very, very stable, large cap companies. Like Bharti Airtel, and where that these companies will continue to do well, right?
Right.
So some of my investment, majority of my investment, like 30-40%, is into these kind of companies where I don't have to think about anything. Then I have little bit of exposure through mutual funds, and I have a portfolio management services. Somebody manages my portfolio, which is primarily a small cap and growing companies, which generates high returns also. And then I think I have 20% into tech, which kind of takes care of my future goals, like my daughter's college and son's college and PF, and for girl there is a Sukanya Smriti scheme, So some of them, like, I don't want to play with that money. I want to secure that money.
Right.
And my PFs are there because I worked in a job for 13 years, right? So that contributes around 20%. Last 20% is something which I think, which I've been able to use in investing into businesses, like new startups, new businesses, new traditional businesses also, which are coming up. There is money, right? I invest into them, crypto. So most of this 20% can vanish any day if things don't go well, right? But because I've invested in, like, I've diversified there also. I've invested in like 4 or 5 places. Chances are I have a risk of 4 or 5% capital at any point of time,
Right.
which I am okay to take today. But they can give you 10x returns. They can also, banks. But I don't think so I will come out of it ever. It's not about my age. And people say you should have a little more, secure investment because you quit your job, monthly income is not coming from job. You should have a little more safer portfolio. I will have a safer portfolio in 80%. But I think 20% I will continue to venture into new startups,
Right.
Invest into new businesses. And that's when I think that there is also a thrill of it, right? This is also, also teaches you a lot, like
Right.
how businesses are working. You work with founders, right? You talk to a founder because you've invested, right? You end up talking to them regularly. You learn a lot from that.
Right.
And they tell you what is happening in the market, what is happening in the business. So I believe that 20% will always be there for me to learn. So then I continue to grow, I continue to stay on edge and see what is happening in the market right now. Because I never want to retire.
ठीक है भूमेश, बिफोर वी कंक्लूड, एनी एडवाइस यू हैव फॉर अ यंगस्टर? आप अपने को क्या एडवाइस दोगे, या उससे भी पावरफुल क्वेश्चन मैं ऐसे फ्रेम कर देता हूँ जिनके किड्स होते हैं, कि आप उनको क्या एडवाइस दोगे? दे आर इन लाइक 15-20 टीन एज में जा रहे हैं या 20 years के हो गए?
I guess when you are like 14, 15, by the time you're in 10th or 9th, right? So you have a couple of choices to make. कि अभी पढ़ाई पे फोकस करके you have to write entrance exam, start preparing for them, right? So that is what I would ask, people to figure out. Like if you're around 14, 15, I want you to figure out what is your strength by that time. And don't go by what your classmate and schoolmate and your cousins are doing. Look at what is your strength. If you're good at mathematics, pursue a career which is primarily focused on mathematics. Not like, oh, I'm good in mathematics, I should become an engineer. No, engineering is much wider, right? You can choose subjects or courses which will remain focused on mathematics, statistics, AI. That could be your life, right? Choose those areas which will make you a little more specialized in that, and you will be able to kind of survive in it for long. Let me tell you this. I went to IIT, but I had 58% marks in 10th. I was not a good student. It means I was not interested in studies until 10th. So obviously 11, 12, I studied hard and then cleared IIT and went there. And then after that also I didn't study. So it's only 2 years I studied. Why?
जितना रिक्वायर्ड था उतना ही पढ़ा.
बस 2 साल पढ़ाई किया.
Right.
उसके बाद भी नहीं किया. मतलब in the IIT also my percentage was between 60 to 70%, which is the lower most in the class. Probably I was topping from bottom. So what I'm trying to tell you is you won't be able to sustain something which you're not interested in for more than 3 years. Like I survived in preparing for entrance, and that. After that, I hated mathematics. I hated, going to classes. I didn't want to attend any of them. So if you find something interesting and make a career out of it, that will help you sustain in that career for longer.
Right.
So they say, right, something you're passionate about, something you are skilled at, right? Something pays you money.
Ikigai.
So if all of them can come together, it's very difficult to get all of them together, but try pursuing that. A skill which has, which can fetch you money tomorrow. Somebody who's in 20s was graduated, figured out a degree and graduated. I would recommend that develop your, like my book says, right? Develop communication skills, finance skills, investment skills. Start early, all of it, right? Leadership skills. Focus on them. Figure out how to develop that. Find a mentor who can guide you on this. Read books. Don't worry about how much money you are making in 20s, because
experience is more important.
You can always make money through your career also. But you should be enjoying. Otherwise, you will also start hating your job after 5-10 years. 30s, most of the people, what they do is they start buying houses and cars and they start planning for kids, right? So plan your kids first. That should be the first priority. Have kids, because with age, what I figured out is it becomes difficult to conceive for both. Okay, so have kids early. Delay your house decision, I would say. It can come in 40s also. There's no problem. Real estate prices are not growing faster than your investment. So let's say I'm in 30s, I would accumulate 1 crore. Typically by 30, 35, people have 1 crore less accumulated. I would put that in, let's say, house, and let's say that grows at 5-6%, 8%, right? In 9 or 10 years, it'll double, right? So it'll become like by 42 or 45, it'll be a 2 crores house.
Right.
Okay. But my investment doubles every 3 years. So I compounded like 24%, right? So if in that calculation is in 10 years going to be 10 times. So I will have 10 crores. I will take out 2 crores from it, buy that house cash paid, and I still have 8 crores balance.
Right.
And I will live on rent, which is 20,000 a month, 25,000 a month, 3 lakhs per year, maybe 30 lakhs, maybe 40 lakhs. I would have paid on the rent.
Right.
So what I'm saying is delay that decision, have kids early, and focus on your career or whatever you are doing. Make money now.
Got it. Yeah, thank you so much, Bhumesh, for coming in the podcast. I know like viewers will learn a lot from this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hemant, for having me here.
Yeah.
I hope people can learn something out of it.
Right.
But disclaimer is that everybody has a very unique journey.
Right.
This was my path, my decision making.
Right.
Your decision making is dependent on your environment, your family right now. But yes, if you feel that you want to be free, you want to live on your own terms, there is a path you have to create for yourselves.
Right.
And I'm happy to help. I'm happy that I could contact you.
Right. Thank you so much.